games to go. And Dreamfire, one thing I really like about this Xenox is it feels like all the teams that we kind of wanted to do well have either made some changes and they've started getting there at the end of the season and making things even more exciting. EXO, slow start to the season. We've seen them start to come back now. Dreamfire finally making those changes we were hoping for and playing to their strengths. All of a sudden, they're back in the conversation. All this is going to do is make the last couple of weeks in that match point day so exciting and hopefully really close so that we don't know who's walking away with those plane tickets until the very last moment.
You mentioned EXO, and I do wonder, with the way that things are shaping up, EXO might actually be knocked out of the top 4 when it's all said and done today, because of the fact that they was having a really good day themselves. MDY is obviously looking all right, but Buriram as well, right? In some ways, forgotten about in terms of the conversation of top 4. Second place at the moment, 43 points coming into today, right? So they can walk away with 21 points when it's all said and done. That actually puts them on almost level with EXO. And that's obviously on the same amount of games played.
And we kind of discounted them a little bit, Xenox, just because of their inability to cut it at the top level, frankly, right? I mean, they've always been a good Apac South team, always. It's, all the way back to when it was the Lynx roster, and they took out a couple of big victories here in Apac South together. They've been through a lot of different orgs, and I think maybe even just one roster change since then, but... we didn't see them play like other teams, like Dreamfire, who even had 2 subs, like Dark Zero or Reignite, who they were at the time, who managed to win with 1 sub, right? So it really feels like, they need to do something a little bit different if they were to make it overseas again this time. Who knows, maybe there's a bit of like first land nerves or something like that for them, but... yeah, certainly as far as it's, our region and the online competition is concerned, they are a force to be reckoned with.
So the rotation down to Fish Farms here, coming out of RTL. Close by is MDY. Obviously for MDY, pretty decent day today so far. It's guaranteed pushing in towards their location. And actually Trent has been spotted and he will get knocked as well. So you've got basically 3 teams already making their way over towards this location. They're not going to be the last 3 either. Daywa, Buriram, all pushing down. Everyone anticipating Fish Farms. They've got 6 teams down here already. Good spray from Yuling. And successfully, that will be 20th. Guaranteed out in 20th.
It's always a little bit sad when they live up to their name. Daywa giving us a sort of preview of that fight as they valked in. CQB coming after them now, and then MDY locking down. And also getting the benefit of grabbing this IMC, which is, it is dead center in this circle, Xenox. So this is fantastic for them. Good timing. They can... no one can get in here for the next couple of minutes. While this is on, they get great loot. And they should get a really good spot in the zone. A couple other teams looking to take the Fish Farms, especially with Watson. Oh my god, imagine just dropping in and grabbing a purple armor straight out of the bin. That's kind of nice for Jack Cute there. These guys, with Watson, these lower spots here with, within the Fish Farms themselves, really good spots to play.
Getting here early though is so vital. Pushing in late, you're out in the open. It'll be really, really difficult. That's why you're seeing so many teams that have already made their way over with these early rotations. And here come Moist Esports. They're going to follow suit, try and find themselves a location to just sort of hold up into. And it's a common theme. And there's already trending here in match number 4. The first match of Storm Point. You think about some of the teams that are not here, and it's really teams that are really far north, Truth, and also coming out of Command Center is Team Mop. So all 3 of those teams in particular, and only really looking at those 3. You do have Dreamfire that's also quite a distance away out towards the west, but yeah, they're all going to be pushing in late. Not going to get those Fish Farm positions.
No, Moist here, they're well set up. This is the Fish Farm right down near the most southern building. And as you can see over in Gale Station, Emmanuel kind of getting sent on by Hermagerd here. They've actually got the Valve portal in, the Wraith portal in play, but they're looking at a little bit of shambles here. Can Jolas finish it off here with his car?
Already saw, obviously, A-Flow and Co taking out Daywa United. Afterwards, sort of singing their praises over the first 3 matches on World's Edge. Manuel send them packing in 19th. Still a little bit more that they've got to do here. Obviously, Age is gone. Chambers has to get revived. Aflo falls off of it, feeling the pressure. And just runs away. Doesn't even have the banner. So even though they do get the squad wipe on the day we're United, unfortunately, Emmanuel cannot really sort of get their feet set after that. They get immediately pounced on, and it's just the solo now for Aflo.
You grab the trident and get all the way out of there. Hasn't recovered either banner. Probably not likely to. Oh, I mean, actually, depends. Depends how Hermagerd's set up, because one banner is in one building and the other banner is in the other building. So if they don't spread out, you can see right now, if they don't, start trying to split hold, which is a little bit tougher with Watson, and hold that right building, he may be able to sneak back in and get one, maybe. He's just going to work his way up with a heartbeat sensor, trying to do that. Anyway, we'll keep you posted about that one. There's a little bit of a chance there. And fall back to ship for the res. Meanwhile, in Launchpad, we've got ADL Wolves. They've got T4 on the run. It's been a decent start to the day for T4. They were sitting in, top 5? I think, in our standings. But this game, not going so well for them.
T4
yeah, fourth spot.
I mean, this one obviously had a win in match number 2. Not necessarily as high as the other teams around them in terms of kills, but their positioning that has been their strength. ADL Wolves, though, a team that did find some kills in the last game. They are on double digits after exiting from World's Edge. They have not really been able to, I guess, turn their kills into wins and high placing. 11th, their best placement so far today, really highlighting that.
Yeah, it takes someone special to do that. Someone like Dreamfire to really be making that particular conversion. ADL has slowed down a little bit after getting that first kill, but now there you go. From up on high, a bow check from 505, as you can see. Doing just enough to take down our third squad to go down here in Game 4.
Yeah, and interesting already. I mean, we didn't really see much 505 over on World's Edge, and then immediately you would come over to Storm Point, get a little snippet. But also, it's the fact that Daewa's gone, T4 is gone. So two teams that did well on World's Edge suddenly eliminated early on in Storm Point, and that's always, I guess, the talking point when you do swap maps. And is there going to be, I guess, similarities, or is it going to be some differences that do strike? And I guess when you get a circle like this down the fish farms, it can really open things up more than what you would usually even get on World's Edge. Teams have to adapt. They've got to be versatile.
Well, this is one of probably the most hard pull circles I think you're going to see, Xenox, and that's why when Moist Esports took up that position in those fish farms just above the building that RTL are currently holding, I'm finally feeling confident that Moist have picked the right spot, because I do believe that they will be in, come to probably Zone 4. Past that, it can be a little bit hard to predict the position that exactly, but I think Moist Esports finally might have something going their way.
Just an update on Aflo and Emmanuel did not get those banners. We'll play out as a solo from here. 5 close by to MDY.
Yeah, they took up that position in the IMC, so MDY decided after they'd reaped the rewards there that they didn't want to stick inside. They actually took the building next door to that, which I think is a fair pick. The IMC probably won't be in what's that, like Zone 4, I think. It's probably going to fall out of favor. Hey. He doesn't miss. He just doesn't miss.
Can't afford to, though. I think Druth actually getting aggressive on this as well. On top of them, Saiyajin, Atsura is actually starting to just pop that med kit. This is a little bit scrappy, a little bit messy. Outskirts, nowhere close to fish farms at all. Jarkai forced back. Wants to pop that bat. And Natsu-sama is already down, courtesy of aimbot. Good shots, but actually caught by Mosu. I think just caught him off guard on the outskirts of this building. Wasn't expecting the shots back that quickly, but
I don't think at the reset. Yeah, man, Newcastle is good. Using that retrieve the wounded passive there to somehow get Natsuru-sama back into the fight. The Watson, he opened the door basically just in the face of Aimbot, who just summarily dealt him 200 damage and put him on the floor. But that's actually pretty incredible that this is still a 3v3.
It just feels like no one's able to sort of land any kind of knockout punch until just then. It's 1-for-1 trade. Versus down. Same with Aimbot. Does well. He's now quite low too. Again, the revival. Again, we're seeing the benefit of the Newcastle here, but zone pushing in. And in the end, both teams just sort of, well, it is Team Mott that do come away with the win. They're kind of wounded for it. They did lose Aimbot. And they grab the banner. They can head to the beacon. Damage done. Dreamfire though, starting to feel the pressure themselves.
You can see the Crypto not even worrying about his health right now. He's actually going to use that drone to immediately pop the res at launch pad, and then Team Up will be back on their way. That said, Dreamfire, as you noted, they were hooning around Gale's station and the Trident looking for some kills. They've managed to find 3 so far this game, but that is about it. And from this point, it's actually going to be pretty tough. This is not the kind of circle that you can really just pull up into and grab kills for free, Xenox. You really need to fight for a position here, because there are so many teams that can just pop out their little fish farms and look at you if you're running out in the open in the sea. There's not a lot of cover there, and there's not a lot of teams that will be in positions that you can pick off. So, yeah, look, honestly, Dreamfire, I think they need to play for position here from this point on. It's just one of those circles.
Say it can't be done. I feel like the way that Dreamfire is playing today, they can do just about anything, play just about any way. And this was also another instance where they were able to sort of push into Gale Station, push into a team and win that fight. So that's the 3rd time today. Really, they're 3 from 3 in terms of pushing into teams and winning those fights. And they make it 4 from 4 as they push over towards Ant. And I do wonder if that might actually be just sort of the right play. No one really close by to Ant Esports in terms of a third party potential. If Dreamfire do take that fight, they get a position inside of the circle as well. So Ant have to be careful as that push is eventuating over towards the western side of Fish Farms.
Yep, made it in. This is Ant. I think they're trying to repel Dreamfire, who have just rolled in with EMP, with the Seer ultimate, with Sky Grenades, with a Rolling Thunder. You can't really do anything else here. And, wow. A Trident coming in from the back end as well. That's Emmanuel. That's A-Flow. They're going to try and finish the fight from earlier off here to grab Emmanuel. But yeah, as you said, Ant can't weather the storm.
That's 4 from 4 now for Dreamfire in terms of pushing into teams. Ant didn't really put up that much of a fight either. As you mentioned, of course, A-Flow, the solo just below and behind them. Dreamfire have caught his location. They are aware it's going to be a free kill. Surely does get away. The Trident is quick. I do think, though, for Dreamfire, there's not much more that they really need to do in the grand scheme of the entire lobby. Today, Gina, 2 more games to play after this. I don't think they need many more points to secure all 25 points. It's another big game from them in terms of kills. 13 squads left. They're inside the zone. I mean, I generally think that they could actually end up in a position where they close out the next game after this, and it might be job done going into the last game. They might not even need much at all.
Well, with placement points on their side, first and a second, with kills on their side like they have been so far, Xenox, it would be a fitting reward for a team who has shown potential unlike almost any other in this region. RTL continue to be in a good spot for this zone. As we said, those circles were touching so much, and that is an indicator that the circle is going to hard pull, and it has continued to do that time and time again. That means RTL and Moist do manage to grab that. Okay, this is what I was talking about, where it's like zone 4, Moist can guarantee that was going to go on top of them, almost certainly. But that last zone, swinging to the right there, that's the one that could really generally go anywhere because it's all playable space. And at that point, It looks like, I don't know, maybe it's hard to say whether that's going to be the low ground, because Moist really need the low ground to be in that circle for this to suit them.
Yeah, I'm just sort of noticing as well. You look at sort of Dreamfire and those teams down towards the west. Is there a possibility to actually push in behind the likes of RTL and I guess technically even Stinky B? Somewhat of a vulnerable position that Dreamfire can actually push into out towards the southwestern side of this next circle. So if those teams coming from the north, it's quite congested, but there's actually that entry point for Dreamfire. Shots, crack, nice. And here is actually Dreamfire making the move onto Stinky B. As I said, it's a somewhat vulnerable position, just the duo. Roy having to pop that back, get that armor back, he's struggling as well. They're actually doing a decent job of warding off Dreamfire, buying some time, and that's actually now caught MDY's attention. They're making their way over. They want a third party this, so Dreamfire's got to be quick and careful. Arcstar's being thrown in. MDY do not want to let up. They do not want to allow Dreamfire to heal on up and be in a position where they can fight back freely.
Dreamfire, they don't have the Watson. They can't necessarily fortify this building. It's a good position for pulling in, but not necessarily for trying to keep other teams at bay. That means Ems will go down. Pete, in a rough position, doesn't get the bat off, and now it's all up to the Bangalore star himself. Can Roy clutch this once again? Two go down. Can he do the third from behind the knockdown shield? No one can stop this man!
No one can stop this team. Apparently, Dreamfire, they're just having the dream day. Although probably feeling like he cannot go for the revives into M's Endor Pete, and he has to just play the solo position at this point. 10 squads remaining. It might not be a high place finish, Gino, but in terms of kills, the kills have already been established. It's another big point game for Dreamfire.
Insane clutch by Roy. Two team members down. He calls for them. He has to use the knockdown shields. And he uses them better than almost anybody else. That was just such a crazy clutch. And imagine getting two of those in a series. Maybe even three if you're including the fact that they, took the 2v3 against Moist as well. How many of your men do you need to take down a Dreamfire member? How many players do you need? That is a question in this series right now.
Well, like many teams, now starting to just get huddled together. Buram United, though, that I've got my eye on to potentially win this game. Top gap, Jack Cute done really well to sort of play anchor positions and make sure that no one can push in on the north side. They know that there's no one that can push in behind them. They've got the position. These teams do not, they have to move. They have to get out of these positions. It's not easy. They're hemmed in, starting to run out of utility as well. You can see with SRY, they just can't even get their armor back up to full health. And immediately, as soon as you just jump out, you're met with bullets, you're met with fire raining down upon you. It is not going to be easy. They are going to get farmed.
Okay, team's just going to throw with the Valka ult. Moist, they're going to hold their position for the moment. It's Buriram United who are in Godspot essentially in the building on the right-hand side. The Valk goes down. They target Surprisey, and that means there's no further rotation for 505. They're just going to fall into this complete mess of a fight with all these other teams as the ring closes in.
Roy managed to pick up a kill from that as well onto 505.
Of course he did.
Get one more free point going your way. 5 squads left. Dreamfire finally gone. 6th place for them, but they got the kills to go with it. Moist Esports, they need the kills now to go with this high place position as ADL Wolves gone. 4 left. Make it 3 left with PK gone. Waltzy just goes walkabout and gets a couple of free kills. Didn't have many kills this game, Moist, until towards the end, but as you said, Buram, Godspot, now they can start to push out. They need to just sort of flex their muscles a little bit. They did well to confirm this position. They obviously copped a couple of circles in their direction, but they need to capitalize here onto the remaining 2 teams on the other side of the circle, RTL and, of course, Moist.
And you can see they're fencing up. They're taking space in the middle. Buriram are good at this. They're good at thinking ahead in final circles and making them their own because the other 2, right, they're still on the edge. RTL inside the building. Moist still hiding behind their fish farms. They've got 30 seconds to figure this out, but Buriram are on the front foot. I mean, I was about to take it back. I was about to say, well, with only 3 full squads left in, maybe it isn't Godspot. Maybe it'll just be, a matter of how these teams fight it out. But Buriram, here we go. They are going to, they're going to have a fantastic position in the middle of the circle. And of course, in round 6, that's where you want to be.
more importantly, goes their way if RTL and Moise start fighting each other, and that looks like that might just eventuate. Arcs start throwing out by Winnie. What can they find? A whole heap of damage, just free damage onto Moist. This is where Buram need to get involved as well. Try and get free damage onto RTL. Can't allow them to just walk out and clean Moist free. Oh, and that's exactly what that might just happen. Railed will take down Empty. More to follow, surely.
RTL pushing in here. You know Buriram are licking their lips at the prospect of this, though, because even a single down, even, you know, removing the shields from RTL should be enough for them to take this fight cleanly, and that's what's going to happen. Two of them on the ground. Buriram are going to clean up just like at Survey Camp.
Certainly are. Arc starts thrown out. Buriram have all the position. They have them completely surrounded. They have the win in their hands. They played it well over the last couple of circle shifts. Had good position. And made sure that no one could necessarily push in behind them up on the north side either. Teams were pushing more central. That allowed Buriram to control the eastern circle. They obviously played the circle